Hello. Hi. How you doing? And welcome yourself right on back to Autumn Time Flowers. How you doing? Hope that you are doing well. I can say for certain that we are in the dog days of autumn because things are going really rough for poor Yuzuriha. Did you like my very good joke? Are you impressed? You laughed so hard, and that has done amazing things for my self-esteem. But yeah, oh boy, that was a lot of good things happened the last time we were together, but oh boy, she was certainly set up for a Sub-Zero-esque fatality of being frozen and then punched into little itty bitty pieces of ice that shattered all around and landed on the floor and melted. Not going great for her. I also realized, and this is just totally weird and out of nowhere, that the length of the previous video was 1 hour, 6 minutes, and 58 seconds, which also happens to be my personal best for finishing Metroid Zero mission on hard mode with 100% item completion. Now that doesn't mean a whole lot because the last time I speedran Metroid Zero mission was like 2006, maybe? I don't know. It was shortly after the game came out and I don't remember when it came out. But that is neither here nor there, and it means little to nothing. We have a Halloween presentation to get to, and how could I forget this vision of loveliness here? Look at her, quite the Dracula. She's like the cooler Dracula. I would absolutely let her sire me. I stand before the mirror in my costume and look over my reflection one last time. It fits well, and the stitching is all intact. It makes my spirit soar to see my own design brought to life, transposed from the page into reality as a fully wearable creation. It is a great feeling to work on a cosplay with somebody. I mean, I've never, you know, made one myself, but I have worked directly with somebody, as in, you know, I know the person that made my costumes, and had at certain points been able to be there for the creation of said costume, and seeing the final thing come together is always an amazing feeling. Oh, man. Oh, this stuff just hurts. This stuff, she wants to be girly so bad. She just can't let herself do it. Because it's just not what other people expect. Describing myself as an androgynous beauty would be going a bit far, but I've definitely been pigeonholed even by myself. You would look absolutely fetching in literally anything. My active imagination conjures an image of me in the epitome of girly clothing, a princess dress. Swathed in pure white fabric, you could do it. I guess being in the princess's shoes is too much for me, as the princess in my fantasies morphs instead into my ideal woman, Nerine Komikado, the woman I love. Oh, man. Oh, the wanting and the longing. On her birthday, I told my best friend that I loved her, despite my always having believed that staying the same is a virtue. No. I'd disguised my confession as an affirmation of our platonic friendship. How stupid. I fell in love for the first time as a young child. It was one of the female staff at my kindergarten, It happens to a lot that age, when the boundaries between the sexes are as yet unclear, and there was nothing stopping me from voicing my feelings. Then, the next time I felt the stirrings of a crush, it was the school nurse in the elementary school. I was a sickly child, so I spent a lot of time in the nurse's room. So I never thought it strange that I should fall for the teacher who took such good care of me. Yeah, we've seen a lot of that over the course of this series so far, and it's pretty common, again, for children to kind of have their first crush or first love be some adult that is in some kind of caring capacity for them. But what she's obviously getting across here is that she's only ever had these feelings for women. However, oh, who's coming in? My thoughts scatter at the sound of her voice and the stunning sight of her. Oh my god! You're bloody! Holy crap. Yeah, you did. You decked yourself out in the whole Victorian thing. The Victorian Bloody Maiden. Nice work. Final preparations. The Halloween party is doubling with dinner. As she said, we should really go put the finishing touches on it, but... She's being brutally honest here, too. But I completely understand. There's just something about a woman covered in blood, preferably mine, that really just gets the heart racing. Look, look, everybody's got a thing, right? Mine is maybe a pretty girl will murder me and it'll be kind of hot. Everybody's got a thing, okay? You got your weird thing and I've got my weird thing. Only I've vocalized mine. You can sound off in the comments if you want about your weird thing. There's no judgments here. I'm not a kink shamer. She twirls on the spot, the skirt of her dress billowing around her. The white of the dress is perfectly complemented by her honey-colored hair, and even the blood stains marring it somehow don't look out of place. As I gaze at the beautiful girl before me, I wonder if it wasn't after all inevitable that I'd go gay. Girl, you are not getting over this in a matter of a few days. This is like this is a childhood thing. This is so deeply seated that, yeah, this is gonna be a while. I put on the mask of the president of the Council of Nikaya of Yuzuriha Yatsushiro. Heck yeah, you do! It's awesome! I swish the cape and she smiles her agreement. Holding up the hem of her dress, she curtsies like a proper lady. Absolutely. We're not that old yet, are we? But she does kind of have that mature air about her. I think she could pull off queenly if she wanted to. She puts her hand to her mouth to hide her giggle. With a flourish of my cape, I bow respectfully to the beautiful princess before me. I take her by the hand and lead her to the venue of the Halloween party. All right, let's go. What did everybody do? We're gonna get everybody? Trick or treat, let's go. Hearing the familiar voices behind me, I slowly turn around. They're behind me. Oh, look at the, yeah! Look at them go. This is obviously where the costume comes into play that we saw in the opening, and yeah, we don't know I have my suspicions on what's going on from the intro now, but this is we're about to catch up to the cold open. Stand the Sasaki sisters, dressed in costumes reminiscent of Alice in Wonderland. They look up at me impishly. Hang on, let's back up a bit. After finishing up the final arrangements, I had declared the Halloween party open. Immediately following my announcement, the gathered students had crowded around me, showering my outfit with compliments. So cute, so pretty, amazing. I'd responded to all of them with praise in kind until I finally wormed my way out, and now... Hearing my friends' voices, I feel my load lighten slightly. The little monkeys waited until they knew I'd have to choose trick. A wordless signal passes between them, and they start to advance on me. Dang it! Twins, they always have an advantage! However, I've learned from my previous year's experience. Oh, I spread my arms wide, inviting them to do as they will. The two of them abruptly halt, seeming reluctant now. She's so intimidating. She's just like, fine, I'm yours. Do as you will. And they're just like, oh, well, shit. I didn't think that far ahead. That too. It's like, oh shit, she's into it. It's something I've learned from past experience. That being said, if I were in their shoes, I would take it as a clearance to grope at will. No. I drop my arms before things get awkward and question them. They turn the question back on me, puffing their chests out proudly as they ask me to guess. A memory from the past suddenly rushes back, and I feel a sharp stab of pain in my chest. Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz. No, not quite. That is a good guess. Wearing silver shoes. Nope. Nope, probably not. She flips a heel up coquettishly so I can see. Yeah, The Shining. That's what I was thinking. Yeah. She twirls around boisterously. I look between Ichigo-kun, who's wearing a bright and innocent smile, and Ringo-kun, who's standing with her hands clasped bashfully behind her. You're gonna, like, Yuzuriha is like, this girl, I mean, even, like, Ringo has it. Like, Ringo and Yuzuriha both have, like, some kind of real good perception where they're just like, all right, I've honed in, you're lying about something, or there's a difference here, and I notice it. It's very, very subtle. There are a number of characters in this story that kind of have that instinct now that I think about it. Wuthering Heights! Wuthering Heights! It's come back to haunt me! I regard her affectionately as she folds her arms in a sulk. When I look at Ichigo-kun, I'm reminded of Neri when she was younger. the cheerful and innocent girl I idolized. The complete opposite of me. Oh! Lady of the hour has arrived. What you got in store for us? I need to see. My thoughts are interrupted. These words accompanied by the high-pitched, bat-like squeak of a wheelchair. Yeah! Look at you! Ah! She's so adorable. She's so damn adorable. Best, cutest witch ever. The twins tilt their head in confusion as Yaigaki-kun repeats herself. She readjusts her hat. I'm guessing she's a witch. And continues. I see how you're relating this to our observation of the twins. Exactly. I mean, you would know Ichigo Sasaki anywhere. Like, I feel like her personality is bubbly and outgoing enough that even if they were dressed 100% to the hilt, there are just things about the way that she speaks and carries herself that would give her away. And we are dealing with a good, observant bunch who would pick up on that shit in no time. She lifts the brim of her hat to smile up at me in her feline manner, and I confirm her assessment. That's... yeah, I see where we're going here. Ringo very clearly wants to kind of have more individuality. It's very, very clear, just even from what we know and have kind of heard her talk about already in her own monologuing. I'm curious about Ringo-kun's somewhat unsure expression. What was that about?
Ah, なかなか様になっているだろう。
Want me to bite ya? Want me to bite ya?
ブラド？吸血鬼の衣装だよね。
Well, I mean, she kinda is.
ブラド・ツェテシュ、通称串刺し子。吸血鬼ドラキュラ伯爵のモデルになった人物だよ。へえ、かっこいいですね。
I spread my cape for them, showing off the blood-red velvet lining. I love the way my silvery hair looks against it. The three gazes converge on me in admiration. I'm basking in the pride of having been complimented on my sewing. A feminine skill. I'm basking. The admiration of their eyes turns to suspicion, which gradually contorts into fear. Then I realize that their gazes are no longer directed at my cloak, but at something behind me. I turn around to see... Oh my god! Gokigenyo to you too! Holy shit! A zombie straight out of a Sam Raimi or George A. Romero flick. Holy shit! This day, October 31st, will go down in history as a new monstrosity is unleashed. God damn! Rika fucking knocked it out of the park! Holy shit! Hanabishi-kun, the zombie maid, who has been off helping with the cooking club's offerings, appears before us.
八代先輩、
Man, she did such a good look at you. Holy crap, dude. She's absolutely, well, I would say she's slaying, but she acts, I'd say she's more like slain. She goes around the table pouring tea for everyone. I'd like to say that I now know it's her. Or now that I've gotten used to it, it's fine, but nothing. It's not creepy at all. It's not way too good. Nandemo night. The members of the cooking club are all dressed as zombie maids, so it follows that Hanabishi-kun is dressed the same way. However, this is a girl that, like, when she throws herself into something, she just absolutely goes whole hog. The other students have all simply opted for painting their faces white or adding a few splashes of blood here and there. And yet, for some reason, aww, we're special. Why is Neri talking to her like this? No big deal. Ah! A passing student lets out a little shriek upon seeing Hanabishi-kun's unique makeup. Cute. Yes, cute. It is absolutely the adjective I would be using as well in this situation. Even though Neri's pointing out how grotesque her makeup is, Hanabishi-kun fidgets bashfully. Quite frankly, she looks terrifying. The fact that Suo is this good at zombie makeup! She's turned poor Rika into a horrifying monster. It's just somehow the least surprising thing you could have told me right now. I avert my eyes, unable to stomach the sight of this repulsive zombie playing bashfully with her braids. Oh God. Oh God! Brace yourselves! Here it comes! A voice rings out like a tinkling bell. Yeah! Yeah, bloody Suo on the rocks, please. How is she the normal one? I yell internally when Suo-kun arrives dressed in cute maid garb, just like the other cooking club members. Like, Rika, you did okay for Suo, but I think Suo just gets all the extra marks for going completely all out on you in the way that she has. Just absolutely a horrifying nightmare. It's great. Suo-kun is able to chat casually with Hanabishi-kun without flinching once. Guess that's the strength of their amitié bond for you. Yeah, I think you did all right. You did all right, but like, my God, like, she even just paled you up in a way that is really remarkable. The extra blood, the extra gore, and the hair, like, and the hairline, and the, yeah, just absolutely killing it. Literally.
きっと上手に違いないわ。
Wait, has Rika, have you not seen your... Oh God, has she not seen it? Her eyes are just so bugged out, it's incredible. My teacher has been outed as a horror fan, particularly of the zombie variety, she admits. Makes sense. Oh God, she's not seen it. Tell me we get the scene where she sees herself. Please. She urges us to try the jack-o'-lantern shaped pie. I use my fork to cut out a part around one of the eyes and take a bite. The mild sweetness and silky texture of the pumpkin tickles my taste buds as the scent of cinnamon delights my nostrils. Oh, Nettie's already up in that shit. You better believe it. This girl has already taken half of that pie as her own. Nothing. Nandemonai. Observing that half of the jack-o'-lantern's face has already disappeared, I swallow what I was just about to say. Yeah, we saw them. They were absolutely cute. She tells us that she made two especially for them, shaped to look like their faces and hairstyles. Nettie shoots me a mischievous look. She says, "What do you mean?" What? What? She just did it? When was this? She just straight up had the balls to do it? Interesting. Oh, is that the trick? Like the trick is, well, you know, you didn't have candy, so you gotta date me. 20 pieces of candy? So they're out trick-or-treating around the room trying to get 20 pieces of candy so Ichigo can go on a date with Yuzuri. She's just like, what? What? People are gay? What? I love how she's just always perpetually flustered when things start happening. She's just never gotten over that. She's a girl that is moving, she is moving ahead at a very admirable pace, but she is still she's still just that cute blushy girl that we started with in the spring. Suo-kun blinks at me in surprise, her cheeks red. Kaguya-sama. Even disregarding today's request for a date, I feel like Ichigo-kun has been making advances on me rather a lot lately. Oh, I think it's obviously something you're gonna have to confront at some point, because this is obviously very much like, she's staking her claim here. She's making her interest known. Like, you're gonna have to, like, man, I'm making this statement, but it's just like these situations are always bad. Like, if you can't, like, if you're just not into someone, but you know they're into you, and it's just like, oh, this is the sucky part where I gotta do a thing and hope I don't ruin our friendship. It's bad. Everything about this episode in particular is setting up for, like, just ridiculously large nuclear emotional bombs going off. Like, I feel like everything is about to collapse at any moment and just into a great big pile of bad. And we are still in chapter 2. I want to remind you, we have still not gotten out of chapter 2 yet. if I'm just going to act like I'm interested, if I'm just gonna act like I'm interested before pulling back at the last minute, I'm better off not sowing the seeds in the first place. Oh, she has got something else on the brain. Oh, she is so understanding. You gotta love that about her. It's like, you know, she sees the bigger picture here. Like, this is a cute thing that is happening. And far be it from this adorable, sweet baby child to interfere with that. She would only support. We stand Suo Shirahane in this house. Aww. Neri asks Hanabishi-kun, who's trembling with admiration, for another pumpkin pie. Somehow I've lost my appetite, so I pass my remaining pie to her and stand up from the seat. I think you got this handled. She polishes off the rest of my poor jack-o'-lantern at her usual steady pace. No! Oh, you are a little shitter. You are a little shitter, and I love you for it. God, give us this reaction. I need this reaction. My soul needs this reaction. She quickly brings a hand up to her hair, her cheeks flushing slightly. She thanks me for pointing it out, then hurries off to the kitchen. All right, everybody, let's turn the volume down and let's just listen for a moment. Then, when about enough time has passed for Neri to finish off 2 whole pumpkin pies. Yeah! The scream of a poor zombie girl who's just gotten a look at herself in the mirror adds some extra spooky spice to the party. Ah, that was so good. That was actually really good. I mean, I wish we'd have gotten to have seen it, but I'll take that. I'll take that. Good play. Good play. A familiar voice catches my attention as I'm going around the other individual and group events together with Neri. Gokigenyo. She nods to Neri, who she hasn't encountered yet this evening. Oh! Gotta watch it with that hat, huh? I wanna get it. You probably set that damn thing on fire if you're not careful. It is, isn't it? She's so adorable. Where's Chidori? Aww, absolutely. Gonna make her blush, gonna make her blush, gonna make her blush, gonna make her blush. Yes! Yes! She's had the hots for Nerine for a while, so getting that compliment, you know it feels real good. Proud of you, Erica. So happy for you. She looks to me for help. See, it's hard dealing with airheads. Yes, you can! Yes, you can! Get a hug! Give her a hug! Now, come on! You gotta take it. Oh! 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 And here comes the. Tell me she's dressed as the Terminator, because I did say that she was like a jealousy Terminator earlier in the story. The voice crackles in my ears. My God, she could be a Terminator! This is a good look. Takasaki-kun, who, judging by her outfit, is probably supposed to be Frankenstein's monster, plants herself between Yaegaki-kun and Neri. Her protectiveness is more silly than annoying, but it's pretty cute. No, it wasn't! You can't deprive Erica of a hug. I feel like that's a hate crime. Look at her, she's just embarrassed. It's so cute. Stop it! Oh, you're holding your own event? What you doing? Oh, fortune telling. That's what Frankenstein's monster does. She hurriedly tacks on another grar. Seems like it's a requirement when dressed as Frankenstein's monster. Yeah, what happened to the ghost stories thing? They were too hardcore! This girl's into some absolutely fucked up shit. We cannot let her tell those stories in good faith at a nice, decent, proper, and prim Christian school. But man, she do look real good in like a suit, don't she? Man, that's such a good look. She's so sharp. Her almond eyes narrow in displeasure. It seems like she's the type to get totally carried away when it comes to her specific interests. Getting this tidbit of insight into my new friend's personality makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. You're taking a break, dang! Realizing she's making a throwback to my comment about it being all work and no play at the council, I incline my head to her with a cynical smile. Write it in your notebook. Ooga! Then, in a low voice, oh. Oh shit. Oof. That's that painful kind of self-deprecating where, you know, it's just like, oh, you mean every word of that. And everybody else will be like, ha ha ha, that's funny. And I'm sitting there like, ha ha ha, no, I mean it. Oops, oops, oops. Fellow tricksters, we share a brief smirk. You got a new sound! With that, the two of them head off toward the cooking club's event together, Takasaki-kun pushing Yaegaki-kun's wheelchair. I love how gay they are. I'm totally not jealous of it or anything, though. Although I'm smiling at the mischief I just managed. Ah! Someone calls out behind me and tugs at my sleeve. I turn around. Well, I'll be damned. You're in for it now? Set it at 20 when there are probably like at least 30 people in this room? I'd agreed to the date idea thinking my terms were impossible. And she makes her triumphant declaration. As she makes her triumphant declaration, Takasaki-kun's scream rends the air. She must have just gotten a look at Hanabishi-kun. I did find myself at a loss for how to turn her down. Oh, Lord. Whoa, okay. I think we're about to do it. I think we're about to dive into the uh-oh. Uh-oh. ICQ's dying next month. Can you believe that? After all, man, I bet most of the people watching this probably don't even know ICQ. All right, here we go. Brace yourselves. It was an unexpected request, even for Ichigo-kun.
彼女なら二人で出し物を回りたいと言ってくると思ったのにね。
Okay, so she like asked her like to meet her here instead of just like to meet her at the chapel instead of like doing something at the party or planning something later. So this is like I'm gonna go on a date, but I'm also gonna tell you I really like you on Halloween. Ooh, man, it just feels like a bad omen all over itself, doesn't it? I murmur to no one in particular as I gaze at the flickering light of the candles illuminating the chapel. The date she had requested, after gathering the required number of sweets,
二人きりでの正当ないデートとはね。
although it may be big-headed, I suspect her attachment to me is probably rooted in a desire to have the most popular girl in school all to herself. I mean, that kind of makes sense, but I also kind of think that, like, there's something about your personality. Like, I think that Yuzuri has personality is it's an attractive personality, even if now we know that a lot of it is kind of put on, but a lot of her true self does, like, come through with how she presents herself. But with Ichigo, I think that absolutely there probably is a bit of that in there of just like, oh, hey, like, you know, I'm kind of super duper into the most popular girl in school. So I think that that's a good observation. She's sure to get bored of me after actually spending some time with me, just like most other girls have.
どうにもまずいな。
Yeah, yeah, this is probably gonna be weird. This request that we be alone reminds me of my encounter in the Twilight greenhouse. The urge to make that which you desire yours and yours alone.
私には十二分にわかる心理。
And again, this kind of like is pushing back on her whole lack of confidence and her own cowardice and how, again, this is somebody else that is coming to her and just kind of like throwing their feelings out there and just being like, look, this is just how I feel. Like, it might suck when I do this, and I'm probably gonna get, you know, taken down in a big old ball of flames, but at least I'm doing it, and she can't bring herself to do it. I think of the wonderful Wizard of Oz, which I read as a child. I compared my best friend Narine Komikado to the lion, the cowardly lion,
だが勇気あるものだ。
who actually had courage. The lion was able to put himself out there for someone other than himself. So who was I? Dorothy? No, I'm not so shameless as to declare myself the protagonist.
僕はブリキだ。
Without a heart. And so, here we go. Just as I'm trying to find the character for the wonderful Wizard of Oz to compare Ichigo-kun to, the heavy doors to the chapel open and then close again. The girl who enters, dressed as one of the ghostly twins from The Shining, stops for a moment to issue a quiet greeting. Then she slowly heads toward where I'm standing at the altar. I watch her come forward, like something out of a dream. Then oh. Face the pale blue ghost.
待たせなくてよかった。
I tell her I was a bit late, so I thought she'd already be here, but Ichigo-kun just stares back at me in silence.
これは
I think of what happened in the greenhouse. In the dying light of the day, my heart aches painfully, like it's being squeezed in my chest.
どうしたんだい？もっとこちらへ来ないと話もできないよ。
It's the opposite of what I really want, but she complies. Ichigo-kun walks closer, her eyes still fixed on me.
夜更けに聖堂で相引きなんてロマンチックだね。ここを指定したのもそのつもりなのだろ？私は
She tries to speak, but the words get stuck in her throat. I had the same experience many times when I was younger. Oh, she does notice! Oh, so this is kind of like how it all spirals, isn't it? But why is Ringo here? Why is Ringo here if Ichigo is the one? What if Ichigo isn't the one with the crush on Yuzuriha, but it's been Ringo the whole time, but Ringo never felt the courage to like be the way that like Ichigo wants to be. Like, so she, They're like, these two are always in cahoots with one another, right? So they're always like planning things out and talking to one another. So it's just like, if they like set this up, like, look, you like want this shot, like if this is indeed true, if it is Ringo who is actually the one that's in love with Yuzuriha and not Ichigo, then I can see like Ichigo kind of like setting all this up and being like, look, I'll get you the date and then you slide in, and even if it's like, you know, weird or something, even if you like, you know, when you reveal yourself to be you, you're still gonna be the one that's able to like say the thing that you want to say. I mean, I'm calling my shot here. I don't know. Like, I'm just kind of, I'm playing the video game and trying to suss my own thoughts out here. I'm always observing people. This girl, even though she's wearing the exact same clothes and hairstyle, this isn't Ichigo-kun. This is the younger sister, the one always in the shadow of her lively older half. My whisper echoes startlingly loud through the stillness of this chapel. Drawn to me, her eyes affixed to my steely blue ones. Ringo Sasaki. As I reassess her with this knowledge, she hardly even appears real. By the light of the candles, she looks so ephemeral that I wonder if she isn't about to fade away into nothing. Man, that's just kind of like... Man, this is so potent. This is so existential in a way, because this is a theme that is tied to both of these characters. Like both characters, I feel, are at a point in their lives where they are kind of losing themselves because they're both wearing a mask. You know, obviously, like, we don't know Yuzu's reasons. We know there's something going on there from childhood, which I'm sure we're gonna find out, but we also know that Ringo very purposefully like limits herself so as to not like outperform Ichigo so much that she leaves her behind. And if this whole like switcheroo thing here is right, then like Ringo has also been kind of using Ichigo maybe as a mask to mask her own feelings for Yuzuriha this whole time. Like, it's hard to say. Like I can believe absolutely that Ichigo has a thing for Yuzu, and this is so weird. I wonder what's because in Ichigo's monologue, she also asked if this was a betrayal. But was the betrayal to her sister in that like she's about to like confess to Yuzu in place of her? Or is it a betrayal because she thinks that like she's betraying Yuzuriha by pretending to be Ichigo right now? But now we know that that's kind of been blown out of the water because Yuzu knows all. Sorry, I'm just like, this is a really cool moment, and I think that they're doing a lot here with character building in such a small scene, and they're saying so much about both of these characters that I just want my thoughts out there and in some kind of form. Trembling like a butterfly emerging from its cocoon, she presses her hands to her chest. Her lips move. And there's a confession. And we're just jumping to the next chapter? There's a children's story called The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. Dorothy is making her way to the Emerald City to meet the great and powerful Wizard of Oz. As he's hurrying along the yellow brick road that led to the city, she hears a terrible groan. Led by the sound, she leaves the path, and in clearing the forest, she meets her second companion, the Tin Woodsman. She rescues him by applying oil to his rusted joints. Once he could move again, the Tin Woodman asks if he can join Dorothy on her journey so that he can get a heart. After hearing the Scarecrow's reasons for joining to see the wizard, the Tin Woodman responds that he would still rather have a heart than a brain. During the year I stood there, I had time to think. The greatest loss I had known was the loss of my heart. No one can love who has not a heart. Oh, this is tying even deeper now. The Scarecrow insists that he will still ask for brains all the same. I'll still take my heart, returned the Tin Woodman, for brains do not make one happy, and happiness is the best thing in the world. I remember feeling terribly sad when I read the woodsman's words. To live without a heart is to live without happiness. I wondered then what that meant for me, having tried so hard to forget the harsh realities of the world by discarding my own heart. The story that begins now is that of the Tin Woodman, foolishly attempting to recover his heart. Ooh, wow. I think that this is like the most thematically potent, that like them tying these interstitial moments about, you know, with stories and fairy tales. I think that this is like the most potent that they've done with that. Lies are the killers of love, but foolish honesty is even deadlier. That's an Ernest Hemingway quote. But we'll go ahead and we'll stop there for now. And we'll come back and we'll tackle what comes next. We have finally reached chapter 3. But not without a lot of... Like I don't even know, like, what comes with that confession, because I mean, I imagine we're probably going to find out very early on, the next time we're together, what she did. I imagine she probably turned her down. But I'm kind of wondering, like, where it kind of goes from there. But yeah, like, I think that, again, like the way that we're seeing these thematic constants between both Ichigo and Yuzuriha is really, really well done. I just want them both to be happy and be themselves, though. Man, that's rough. And again, like the way that they're tying the Wizard of Oz to this story, I think it's like the best way. Like, I think it's the best of these kind of setups that they've done. With regards to tying a story thematically to the story that they are telling with flowers. So yeah, Yeah, this is real good stuff. Like, the Halloween party was a treat. Loved all the costumes. That was a lot of really great new sprites. The Rika moment was incredible. It's just such good stuff. Such good stuff. Great episode all around. I know I'm sitting here blabbering way too much. I kept saying I'm gonna dial it back. I'm not gonna blabber so much, but now I'm just blabbering even more because I just find this game. I find it's the way that it's handling what it's doing so fascinating. As somebody who has written visual novels before and likes literature and likes reading a lot of other visual novels, I just really like seeing what this story is doing. And in a lot of ways, maybe better than some of, you know, the visual novels that I've read. That's not making a quality judgment on anything. I don't like pitting things against one another because Flowers is obviously trying to do something different. With what it's doing. It has its own unique voice, as do other stories. But anyway, that's gonna do it for us this time around. Thank you as always for making time in your day, and I hope that you have a nice rest of your whatever, wherever it is you are, and we will catch you next time. Bye bye.